So Melania Trump has been in the news a lot lately. I was talking about her in the monologue, and she's on the cover of Us Weekly with this cover at my side. But they left out my favorite feature in Us Weekly, which is the 25 things you don't know about me. Do you read about this? All the stars do it. Tim Gunn has done it. You have his. He'll be out here in a minute. And I did it. It's practically a rite of passage. There you go. And we got a hold of Melania's. It's not in this magazine, but it's coming out soon. Would you like to hear Melania's 25 things you didn't know about? Okay. 25 things you didn't know about. In Slovenia, I was a catalog model, which is what you call a model you order out of a catalog. Sometimes when I bounce light off my diamond, Donald's hair will chase it like a cat.
And plaudits in equal measure. So where has the First Lady gone?
Really a dumb guy, fired like a dog. His show is dead.
Melania Trump has spent just a few weeks here at the White House since her husband was inaugurated in January.
Okay, so meet up in person. Maybe it'll be different. If you don't want to say it out loud, you can mow it into the corn. A fucking comedian, and he's the most powerful leader in the world. I'm not the lead joke. It's not a toy for rich idiots to play with.
I think what people like about him, he's just direct. He's very direct, and he just lands it. He says what he says, and he doesn't.
And if I could tell my younger self just one thing, it would be this. If you catch a leprechaun and he gives you one wish.
Bill Maher just dropped the truth bomb of the decade, exposing the Trump marriage like never before. On live television, he compared their relationship to Slovenia's national cuisine, cold and flavorless. Trump's furious meltdown was only the beginning, and Melania's chilling silence spoke volumes. Want to know what really went down and the exact punchline that shattered the Trump facade? Keep watching. Before we move on, I will like you to subscribe to the channel and like the video. What happens when a comedian turns a marriage into a punchline? Trump found out the hard way when Bill Maher took aim at his relationship with Melania on live TV.
I don't want to have a Trump with this man. I mean, he's not even a real person. It's just like a pop reference from the 80s. It's like having a spat with J.R. Ewing.
What started as one of Maher's usual witty monologues quickly escalated into something much bigger, a brutal roast that had everyone talking. Maher, known for his sharp tongue and unapologetic humor, didn't just make people laugh. He had them cringing, gasping, and most importantly, thinking. By the end of the segment, it wasn't just about Trump being the target, but about the mysterious and often robotic dynamic between America's most baffling couple. The segment opened like many others, with Maher casually throwing jabs about Trump's latest headlines. But things took a sharp turn when Maher zeroed in on their marriage. One of the standout lines was when Maher called their relationship as warm as Slovenia's national dish, which, in case you're wondering, is cold potato salad.
I hope I inspire little girls everywhere to marry for money. Oh, that's...
The room exploded in laughter, and for good reason. It was more than just a diss about Melania's home country. It was a pointed commentary on the absence of any genuine warmth between the two. And just when it seemed he might ease up, Maher doubled down with a faux marriage guide he claimed was inspired by the Trumps. The rules? Avoid eye contact, always walk 3 steps apart, and never forget, hand-holding is strictly for photo ops. These weren't just abstract shots fired. They hit with surgical precision because they reflected what everyone had been seeing for years. The moments Maher pointed out, like the time Melania swatted away Trump's hand during a press event or her stoic expressions during his rallies, reminded viewers of how carefully curated their public appearances were. Maher joked that their interactions felt less like a couple and more like 2 co-workers forced to share an Uber. It cut deep because, let's face it, there's some truth in that. Maher's genius, though, was in how he took comedy and turned it into a weapon of social commentary.
Every time I look at my husband, I'm reminded of the Slovenian national dish. a fat, greasy sausage filled with cheese.
Sure, the punchlines were sharp, but what made this roast sting wasn't just the humor. It was the fact that it peeled back the shiny Trump veneer. For years, the Trumps presented themselves as a power couple, the businessman who had it all, and the glamorous former model by his side. But Maher flipped that narrative effortlessly by framing their marriage as more of a corporate arrangement than a love story. He forced viewers to rethink everything they knew or thought they knew about their relationship. One joke in particular turned into Maher's iconic punchline of the night. Melania's not his wife. She's the longest standing employee at Trump Organization. And trust me, she's overdue for a raise. The crowd erupted, Twitter erupted, and somewhere in Mar-a-Lago, Trump himself probably erupted too. The reaction was immediate. Within minutes, hashtags mocking Trump and Melania's relationship started trending across platforms.
And the worst, I would say, dishonest media and unfair media.
You guys talk about this a lot. What is so unfair?
The next day it's headlines. Donald Trump said this or that.
That comes with the territory, though, doesn't it?
No. Look, I went to an Ivy League school. I was a good student. I'm a very smart person.
Twitter users shared gifs of Melania's infamous poker face moments, while TikTok creators turned Maher's jokes into trending audio clips. The internet felt united, dissecting every awkward Trump-Melania interaction.
By social media, by what's going on, and by negativity.
You give him advice about tweets?
Yes, I do, all the time.
And sharing them with captions like, "This didn't age well," and "Maher was too kind." But the virality of Maher's words wasn't just about the humor, it was about the harsh truths they exposed. By calling out the transactional nature of their bond, Maher wasn't just cracking jokes, he was pulling the curtain back on one of the most protected facades in American politics. Maher's roast resonated because it didn't require much convincing. The public already had questions about the authenticity of the Trump marriage, but Maher gave voice to those doubts in a way that couldn't be ignored. His performance straddled the line between humor and critique, and while he didn't outright accuse their marriage of being a branding strategy, he left just enough breadcrumbs for people to draw the conclusion themselves. It was, in many ways, comedy with homework attached.
Not a joke. It's not a toy for rich idiots to play with.
The punchline about Melania's role being more of a business deal than a marriage reportedly pushed Trump over the edge. Later, insiders suggested that Trump, watching the live broadcast from Florida, was visibly livid. For a man obsessed with building and maintaining his image, having a comedian publicly expose cracks in that image wasn't just irritating, it was humiliating. Maher wasn't just poking fun, he was chipping away at the identity Trump had spent decades crafting.
I'm a fucking comedian, and he's the most powerful leader in the world. I'm not the leader.
But the most fascinating part? Maher knew exactly where to hit. He didn't target Trump's policies or his businesses this time. Instead, he aimed for the one area Trump rarely lets anyone close to, his personal life. This wasn't just another roast. This was a cultural examination of power, image, and the dissonance between private truths and public personas. With every punchline, Maher didn't just land a blow. It felt like he was flipping the final page of a decades-long performance script.
Okay, so meet up in person. Maybe it'll be different. If you don't want to say it out loud, you can mow it into the corn. A fucking comedian, and he's the most powerful leader in the world. I'm not the leader.
And with all eyes now on the fallout, the next question became, how exactly would Trump handle being the punchline for a moment neither he nor his PR team could control? The roast was bad enough, but Trump's reaction turned it into a spectacle no one could ignore. According to reports, Trump's fury erupted the second Maher's monologue hit the airwaves. Picture it.
About the coverage overall?
Well, I can just speak for myself that I don't want to mention a specific act, but so often they'll say, oh, Donald Trump said this or he said that, and what I said wasn't wrong. What I said was fine.
They were lies, and as I said before, all the accusations, they should be handled in a court of law.
Him pacing around Mar-a-Lago, red-faced, yelling at staff, probably with his trademark arm flails for extra emphasis. It was the kind of tantrum that would make a toddler look like a Zen master. Maher's punchlines, especially the one comparing Melania to a long-standing employee, cut deeper than expected. And for someone like Trump, who's spent decades constructing his image as the ultimate winner, seeing it mocked on live TV.
In Slovenia, I was a catalog model, which is what you call a model you order out of a catalog. Sometimes when I bounce light off my diamond, Donald's hair will chase it like a cat.
That's nightmare fuel. Behind the scenes, his team scrambled to contain the fallout. Sources said they tried calming him down, but good luck soothing someone who thrives on control and refuses to admit when he's rattled. The jokes weren't just insults. They hit Trump where it hurts the most. His carefully curated facade. This is a man obsessed with controlling every aspect of his narrative, from the length of his ties to the family portrait he projects. Maher didn't just get laughs, he exposed the cracks in that image. The roast wasn't just a nuisance, it was an assault on Trump's self-made mythology.
I think other than the Trump-Elon thing, Well, I mean, when you think about it, the richest man in the world and the most powerful man in the world, it's like Godzilla versus King Kong. And so Trump said, I offered him a little makeup. This is what happened. This is serious, people.
Trump attempted to reclaim the narrative almost instantly. He reportedly rushed to Truth Social, the only platform still willing to play babysitter to his rants, and began firing off posts. In his usual fashion, he labeled Maher a failing loser and threw in some conspiracy-laced accusations about the radical left being behind the comedian's jokes. The posts, though brimming with his classic grammatical chaos, couldn't undo the damage. The internet once again had beaten him to the punch. Videos of Maher's roast kept circulating, viral clips replaying like a bad song stuck on loop, and perhaps most damaging of all, the deafening silence from Melania herself.
I think what people like about him, he's just direct. He's very direct and he just lands it. He says what he says and he doesn't.
Melania's reaction, or lack thereof, became the most talked about aspect of the entire ordeal. As Trump flailed publicly, she stayed silent, a silence that screamed louder than any press release could. The media pounced on it, spinning theories left and right. Was she refusing to defend him? Was she indifferent? Or worse, was she silently agreeing with Maher? To many, her lack of a response felt like a calculated form of rebellion. Social media users resurfaced her infamous "I don't really care, do you?" moment, reinterpreting it in a whole new light. Back when she wore that jacket, it seemed tone deaf and callous. Now it feels like a deliberate shrug emoji for anything involving her husband. She didn't just stay out of the drama, she might have been pointing out that frankly she's over all of it. The narrative around Melania began to shift in real time. Once seen as a stoic but stylish first lady tagging along beside her chaotic husband, she was now being recast as the captive in high heels. Commentators joked that it wasn't a marriage, but a hostage situation where the hostage occasionally gets to smile for Dior campaigns. Others suggested she had mastered the art of passive power, using her silence as a form of quiet resistance. While Trump tried his best to dismiss the chatter as tabloid fodder, the internet wasn't buying it. Memes flooded Twitter, TikTok, and every other corner of the digital world, caricaturing Melania with captions like "blink twice if you need help" and "she's just waiting for the NDA to expire." But the incident didn't just spark jokes, it posed uncomfortable questions. As the Trump's marriage became the subject of public dissection, doubts about their authenticity grew louder. Was their relationship ever anything more than a strategic partnership? For years, Trump has sold the image of the perfect power couple, the mogul and the former model conquering the world side by side. Yet here they were, reduced to fodder for late-night comedy and TikTok trends.
Because what happens is you poison the minds. You really do. The media poisons the mind.
Some even took Maher's roast as a broader critique of political marriages in general, asking whether what we see in politics is ever really genuine or simply another layer of branding.
My Secret Service codename is that poor woman. Different insulting epithets that the president has said about me. Things like stupid, dummy, lowlife dummy, sleazebag, sick, sad, stone cold.
This cultural moment wasn't just about Maher's jokes or even Trump's meltdown. It was about peeling back the curtain on a marriage that seemed more transactional than romantic. What truly stung wasn't just Trump's embarrassment, but the public's realization that it all might have been a performance. The idea that Melania is less of a wife and more of a PR accessory hit harder than any punchline. After a public humiliation of this magnitude, the big question isn't just how Trump will spin it, it's whether the Trump brand, so reliant on the illusion of success and control, can even recover. Or maybe, just maybe, this is the beginning of the fairy tale's final unraveling. Bill Maher's roast went far beyond comedy. It was like tearing the wrapping off a shiny gift box only to find it's mostly empty inside.
Look, I don't want to have a Trump with this man. I mean, he's not even a real person. It's just like a pop reference from the 80s. It's like having a spat with J.R. Ewing. And then the shit got real. And Trump said, well, you know what? Mars is a shithole planet. And then Trump said, he's just mad.
By exposing the Trump's marriage as more business deal than love story, he flipped the fairy tale on its head. Every awkward handshake, cold glance, and robotic interaction suddenly felt less random and more calculated. It wasn't just about Trump or Melania. It was about the illusion of perfection so many public figures sell. The real question now is, if even the Trump marriage feels staged, how much of what we see in politics is actually real?